We had just gotten through chairman's comments, member comments, public comments, and administrator comments, so we're moving on now to item number 3, update from joint select board meeting. You've all received the minutes, so unless you had a question, I think we just record the minutes and move forward. It was a productive meeting where Mr. Cavey acknowledged that the authority has come to the select board a number of times and really left, disappointed. He publicly vowed to make a change in that and start paying attention to the authority, and more importantly, start giving them the respect that they deserve. And to this point, at least since that meeting, he has followed through on that. So I am hopeful.
Present a specific project as the target project to start the process?
So as part of the subcommittee, which is item D, we had our first meeting, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So does anybody have any questions about the joint beyond that brief synopsis that you just received?
No, I think that it was a good meeting.
Okay, it was a very good
We got
meeting.
exactly.
And we got
what we needed.
a unanimous vote.
And we got, I didn't think we were gonna get that, but we got
Yep.
a unanimous vote.
Yep.
And we even got, sort of a good segue into the armory project, to keep it on the table.
That's right. At the end of that, Roberta brought that up.
I kind of,
Well, I don't
kind of
know.
said because that's the way I am. I put things out there, and it was a great segue because Mr. Cavey says, oh, we have to appreciate other boards, that we're not the only board.
Yep.
And so we kind of walked into it. And I said, I'm still waiting for my soapbox to talk about the armory.
Right.
I said, I talk fast, I only need 5-10 minutes. If you don't like my idea, send me
You
down the
didn't.
river. But
Keeps it on the surface.
so
keeps it on
I
the
actually did get a call from the chairman,
There you go.
Excellent.
There you go.
and she says, well, we can talk about it. Why don't you write a letter to me and Mr. Nakrisky, and we'll have coffee or something next week, which is this week. So
That hasn't happened yet.
within the hour, I composed the letter, quick little thing, wrote it out. It's Wednesday. I said, I'm gonna be gone from Saturday on. I let her know it was this week. So unless I get a call, I got Thursday morning and Friday morning. So am I optimistic? No. But
Well, it's a
if
start.
they can get, I would prefer just to get on the agenda. Because I look at it this way, they're 2 votes out of 5. And so telling me, so I guess this is the test to see
I was
if I'm
very
worthy of
surprised.
going up and facing all 5 of them. I don't
think
really
it's a
know.
matter of it, whether or not you're
But
worthy.
why would you waste your time having coffee with me?
I don't know.
Just give me 10 minutes up there.
Right.
I'm sure you have better things to do than meet with, just let me do my spiel up there. I guess I like just to get.
Well, I
just
find
get
it
these done.
interesting, and I know they do this, but why aren't you having coffee with the chair and vice chair? I mean, Joe McCrisky's a member, correct?
But he sat in with that meeting with me.
Ah, excellent. That's a good point.
I-
Well, do me a favor, if you'd be kind, when you remember, send the letter to us all, just so we know what you're up to, so what you're doing.
Yeah, okay.
just
Oh,
a
I'll
copy.
let you know if I was
Yeah.
going. I just
Yeah.
haven't heard anything
Yeah.
yet, so I'm not gonna say, hey, guys, I haven't heard anything.
No,
So-
no, no,
If
understood.
you don't bring these things up,
I was very
Oh, I'll keep on beating on it, you know what I'm
So-
saying?
Oh, I know you
So,
will.
see, because it was taped, it was recorded.
Yeah,
You see, and I look at being recording is the same as a letter,
Well,
and it's
I mean, it's right there.
documentation. Whether it's now or it's 5 years from now, at some point somebody's going to say, well, nobody said anything.
the armory is.
It's not 5 years from
Well, the
now.
armory is.
The building will be gone in 5 years.
Yeah. But anyway, so I will keep you abreast.
job.
If there's anything to say, when I get the soapbox, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Good
And
job.
that's all I got.
Website activation. We're at a point now where we need to start interacting with the public about the urban renewal plan. Website is a good way to do it. BSC has created at least the framework, and although I'd like to kind of play around with it a little bit, one thing that has become apparent is we need to pay to activate the website. So we'll talk about that in the payment of bills. It's a request for purchase, actually, but I just wanted to give you all a sense, and if there were any questions about a website and how that was all going to work, this would be a good time for it. I know I sent out a version of a Google site. Google site, it's a great little thing to have, but unless I go to the town website and then click on a link, you're not going to find it. So this becomes a philosophical question of, do we, as part of our marketing campaign, want a site for this? I think it's a 2-year agreement that I'll have to go back and look at the Wix. Wix is the company that designed this for BSC, so, which is why we're talking about Wix.
This is good.
It's not a bad website, but we need to be able to attach a simple name now. Donna, we bought
It's just too much.
StoughtonRedevelopment.org.
StoughtonRedevelopment.org. It was fairly inexpensive, $11 or something. So that would become the simple, click it in and off you go to our site. It has to be redirected to that. So we do have some proposals, and we can go over those in a little bit as far as cost. I asked Donna to provide all the levels of access to the website. I have my own personal opinions on it. We're not in a situation where we need, 10 hours of video time and all that. We need simple access to this. We need to attach a website name to it and give people access to it, start to advertise it. So, with that said, any further questions about the website activation?
I'm gonna be Debbie Downer. I think you need to have this plan approved by the select board before you start putting things on, because this urban renewal plan is not, it's done in 6 months. It's a multi-year thing. I guess.
You mean the application of it?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. No, it's
I
a
mean-
20-year plan.
Right.
Right.
So the thing is, I personally wouldn't invest to do it until I got the okay from the town.
You mean invest to do the website?
Thank you,
Yes, it-
yes.
The
yes.
website's already done.
But you're saying we're gonna have to pay for this
We need to pay a
system?
fee to have
Use
it
the system.
accessible, yes.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say.
And that's a part of the public outreach we're required to do prior to a decision from the select board. So,
Why would public outreach be I don't understand the presentation that, I can't think, sorry, I don't know the gentleman's name.
Jeff.
We have.
Jeff
we ha-
Vassar?
Yeah, we have a video from a meeting. Why can't that just go online and ask Mac to put it on there to say this is a meeting, and it goes to the whole thing about what the urban renewal plan is?
because as part of our marketing program that Reggie budgeted for, we had anticipated the need to activate a website. That's where we're at this point.
I think Roberta's point is, why activate the site and put something on there that's not approved? Is that?
Thank you.
Because it's a draft. We
No,
need,
I
we,
get it. I
we
get it. I'm
need,
just
we
not-
need the input of the public
But-
so that we can tweak this
I
plan
understand.
and go to the select board with confidence saying,
Right.
we've had solid public input on this and this is what we've come
I
up with."
guess my thing is, you showed me the top, I mean, I'm talking about the community group that we have.
Well,
Jeff
this
put it
isn't
on-
for the CAG.
No, I know that.
Okay.
He talked about it for a half an hour,
Mhm.
say 40 minutes.
Sure.
Okay, I wanna know what this urban renewal plan is. Oh, look under SMAC, I can go under urban renewal plan. It's just Jeff Feaster talking about it.
So,
That informs me better than, I don't know, I just,
so we have had some of that information out there, and I receive about 3 calls a week from residents saying, can you explain the urban renewal plan? I'm done explaining the
Right,
urban
but if
renewal
they
plan
could
with
see
all due
if
respect.
Jeff on there, it's.
The information's available to the reps. They haven't hunted it out yet. And it is the reps that are calling. I'm gonna be honest, there's very few residents just
As a resident, I wouldn't know where to look.
Right, exactly my
Yeah,
point.
That's why if I could go
That's
on
the point of the
Snap
website,
and say, well, how are they gonna know that the website exists?
Well,
because we're gonna advertise
we
it.
gotta market that.
All right, you can market the things on, all right, whatever, you guys do what you want. I just think viewing it, seeing a presentation, to me is, maybe I'm a visual
Which
person.
would all be part of the website. We need a place to get it out there.
So at what point, like, is there critical mass in terms of the number of residents that have had input? Like, at what point were we like, we're good? Because that would be my question.
So,
Like, why aren't we good now?
Not until because there's been no public hearing. We have not invited the public in to say what they feel about this urban renewal plan.
well, we have
The select
begun
board has.
to form that, but again,
But we haven't as of
we
yet.
had to get through the last meeting we had with the select
Oh,
board.
I understand that.
Now we have a plan that, at least in principle, they agree with. So now it's a matter of starting to tweak that. That's where the public comes in. The select board will be the last to vote on
Right,
this.
but-
Purposefully, it's designed that. They don't want to see it until they've heard from the public, from the planning board, and, what we're calling our stakeholders, the developers, the realtors, which we've already met with. It was all kind of part of that plan, and now I want to start providing that.
It actually goes beyond what it is considered a requirement.
It is, you're right,
You know,
it
goes
is beyond it, yes.
Because the requirement basically says that we need to have a public hearing, one public hearing,
Which could be satisfied at the final moments with the select board.
And what we really said was, we don't want to push it through without giving the public,
An opportunity.
a real opportunity to really say,
I totally agree, yeah.
I don't like it.
But
I
this
like
is a
it.
part of that, Roberta.
And
Right.
it is sort of saying, okay, now we've had meetings, we've had SMAC, we've had public hearings, and you've also had the opportunity, if you couldn't make any of those, you can go on this particular website and you can see the information and you can respond to it. You can put your, you can
Yeah,
have
there'll
your
be a
input there.
comments area.
And then it all gets sort of combined as part of the overall application that goes to DHCD to basically say, because they're asking us, what did you do in terms of engaging the public? And we need to be able to say, well, we didn't just have one public hearing, because we did have that, but we did X, Y, Z, and ABC as well. And that's why we thought, that the whole, sort of having the website is something that if we do a few advertisements, if we're at the public hearings or public meetings.
You drop it in the
CAG,
Suburban Shopper a few
You're
times.
there to say, if you want to know more about.
Get it on the
you
crier.
You can get it, but you're going to get this much. But if you go onto the website, you'll get the entire overall, not approved plan, but a plan to comment. And you may have comments, you may not have any comments.
And I can't, if I could, I would, but it's not realistic to put this on like Facebook. We can put a tag, hey, click here if you want to learn more about this. But Facebook isn't designed to put
Right.
90 pages of documentations
And
and
nobody
dozens of
wants to
maps.
look at
And
it.
nobody's going to look at it anyway.
That's
Absolutely
why
right.
But I think we have to.
But
have
we
a-
continually make connections, sorry.
Yeah, there's got to be a lead up to
Yeah.
the site,
Yeah.
or otherwise the site just sits there and
That's
like,
right.
no one.
But you could
Correct.
put that tag on Facebook.
You could.
That would show you that thing with Jeff doing that half an hour
Absolutely.
spiel, which to me is a lot better than, like you say, reading through 90, but you could put it on tons of stuff. And not everybody is on Facebook. We all know.
No,
that.
you're absolutely right, I'm
But at
not.
least if some of the people saw it, okay, they see it on all the different websites.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that presentation that he did was a good synopsis of the project.
And it'll be a part of the
Yeah.
website, but we need an opportunity for people, if they so choose. And I have had a number of people say, I'd like to
look
dig
at
through
the-
this.
Yeah, I wouldn't look at the 90 pages, but I would look at the visual stuff more
Right.
than watching the
Right,
presentation.
which is why it's
So
important
if I saw
when
something
we're
like this,
picking.
I'd
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the 90 page and I'm
Yeah.
not listening to him talk.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
that's-
it's a good
that's-
point.
It is a good point.
Good point.
I'm the guy that look at the 90 pages.
You're right.
Because, you know, I want to know the details there.
Well, because you know that presentation is
You know,
polished.
You know, because I know that that's a very positive, you know, presentation. But I want to get into the details, because if I get into the details, then I'm going to have a better understanding that, oh, you're not talking about a specific project.
He wasn't on the thing,
That's
I mean,
right.
but I'm
You
just
know,
saying, but.
And when you get to the plan, you get to understand, oh wow, this is a 20-year plan. This is not sort of how we're going to redevelop the whatever here. You know,
And I think what you said not only makes a lot of sense, but it's something we need to pay attention to. I'm gonna need your help understanding what it is you would catch your eye, and how do we put that together? You know what I mean? So that somebody like you, I know how Reggie's gonna get to the info. He's gonna dig until he finds it. But how are you gonna be affected by it? How are you gonna see it? And what's gonna draw you to read more about it?
Yeah,
So-
so I think in a nutshell, all we need to do, we have to have a lead-up plan to the site.
Sure.
Otherwise, the site becomes.
you just sit there.
And I agree with you, but this is why we're having this discussion now.
I'm cool with the website. I think it's a good idea. I've always been cool with it, but I think my main concern is making sure that like the pieces that lead up to it are in place, or there's a
Okay.
strategy.
And that's something we can work on in the next month or so. Let's figure out what we want to see on it. I'm going to look for your input and everybody's input, but where you had a very different way of looking at this than Reggie, I want to hear from you. I want to know what it is you want. So we'll begin a conversation where we can get that input in without breaking any open meeting laws, and then make that a part of our next meeting. Fair?
Fair.
Okay.
Fair. It's a vote.
Stakeholders meetings, update in future. So we had a meeting with the realtors that went very well. We got a lot of good input. I would have preferred it would have been better attended. But it was a good first step. We're at a point now where we're gonna be working with the banks and possibly developers at the same time. I'm struggling a little with that. Do I want those two groups at once?
Who are the real estate folks?
Well, we sent out, Donna, was it 13 letters
Yes,
to
13
various
or
realtors?
15.
Yeah, 15 maybe.
When was this?
Uh,
When did you send out these letters?
We had the meeting in late September, around
And
the
I followed up
22nd
with a
of
couple of
September. Yeah. The letters went out in the
Like a
beginning of
year ago?
September.
No.
No, this past
Oh,
month.
I was gonna say,
Oops.
We did get some good feedback.
how do I know not anything about this?
We talked about it in our August meeting, the letters were sent out, we talked again in September about it, and we had it on the 22nd.
Right. Part of the discussion was who would want to attend the meeting, because if we had more than three, if we had
Correct.
3 members, we would have to make it
It's
an
an open
open
meeting, yeah.
An open meeting. And it was at that point that we decided to only have 2 people go to the meeting. And I'm trying to see if I see the date on the meeting that we had. It was the 14th.
Was it?
14th of September.
Okay, you could be right.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to that.
7 Pearl Street, 6 o'clock,
Yeah.
8 p.m. That's when we had the meeting, and then we had the joint. No, that
I
was
think
the
you're wrong
subcommittee.
on that.
Yeah, it was an afternoon.
And
It was an afternoon.
It was 4 o'clock. No, that was the meeting
Yeah.
that we had for the SRA. Was the 14th.
Right.
It was the 20th that we actually had the URP Realtors meeting, and that was at 4 o'clock.
You're
4 or
right,
5
because it was the same night as the select board meeting, and we did it at 4:30 or
Right.
4 o'clock, yeah.
People did hear about it. It was poorly attended.
It was poorly
But we
attended.
did get some good feedback.
Yes.
But subsequent to that, another realtor did get in contact with me, and his comments were not very positive. And it was basically saying that, hey, Stoughton itself has to do something about the downtown area. And because he's getting more and more requests of Stoughton residents, Stoughton owners, of wanting to sell their property and move to other locations. Because, they feel is that you know, the value of their property based on the downtown area. And he says whether it's right, wrong, or
That's
not.
because 500,000 people read the Globe about our police department.
But that's not, I agree, but that's not relevant. I hear what you're
It's
saying.
killing the housing
But
market in
I
Stoughton.
got you, but I don't want to get into that topic here. I do hear and recognize what you're saying. It's not the right place for it. I hear you, but
But
Be
that was-
patient
was
on
his-
that one.
That was his comment, you know. So-
Okay.
But he heard about the meeting, he said he couldn't make it, but, you know, that was.
well,
that
keep
was his
inviting
comment.
them. Invite them to the next one. I was intending on setting something up at the end of October for the developers. I've decided I needed to step back a little bit from that. I had too much going on, so I would like to see that happen in November, preferably before our next meeting. That's where we stand at that.
Do you have a date?
No, I don't. But I will email the date out when we determine when Reggie and I work together to
Okay.
determine what's best for a date. The subcommittee meeting we had Monday night. It was an informal meeting with two of the select board members, and we got a lot of great input. We are currently working on sketching or mocking up some things in answer to some of the questions we had that night. When that comes together, I'll keep you all abreast. And that will be an executive item, I think, until we're ready to release that. But I want you all to be aware of where that is. I don't know, does it make sense for us to put together a synopsis of the meeting?
We could, you can keep everybody informed.
And the
But
next
it was-
subcommittee
it was-
meeting is on the
You
24th.
can write a memo to file.
Yeah, and it
Fine.
would just be an executive. That way you know what was said, but we're not spilling any beans unnecessarily,
No.
so, yeah, I agree.
The term I always use, the salient points of discussion.
Correct.
Were as follows.
Yep, I agree.
Bullet, bullet, bullet.
I
It's
will,
gonna be again this month, you said, the 24th?
we're intending on having another meeting on the 24th as a subcommittee. It depends on whether or not we get the information we were looking for, but I think we will,
They
so.
wanted us to mock
That's
up.
quick, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not messing around. I would like to sort of have some conclusions from a subcommittee level by December.
so this
That would be
is
ideal.
Cavey and Roberts or Roberts?
Cavey and Carrera.
Scott.
Okay.
Steve Cavey
Okay.
and Scott Carrera
Okay.
were put on as members of that subcommittee.
Yeah, no,
Scott wants to move 139.
we,
I won't even bother to, sure,
we,
not
we
even
had a really
close.
good meeting, you know. Because
Yeah.
I thought-
It was a
I
good
thought we
meeting.
were gonna have like a 45-minute to an hour meeting, and it turned out to be a good 2
Hour
hour.
and a half, almost 2
2
hours.
hour meeting.
good.
Sounds like a
You know,
bad
good.
meeting to me.
And it was,
Well, we're getting there, so
It's 8 o'clock. yet.
we will do our best, but,
Quarter past 7, Forrest.
My bedtime is 8.
yeah,
Well,
well,
7:15.
stop talking and we'll keep
Yeah.
moving.
Well, I
That's
can't
better.
talk as fast as my partner in crime here.
see, you're
But
So-
I
taking
would
up
like
time
to
now.
talk to you about one thing.
Be patient, is it,
My member comments.
but that's past.
Oh,
But I will say this, at the end of the meeting, I will give you an opportunity to speak, is that fair?
what I was talking to Mark to,
Is that
which
okay?
we had a strong
Hang-
disagreement.
Hang on, Forrest, can we get into
To
that?
me, the
Forrest,
primary,
you're out of order, let's wait until the end of the meeting, please. Thank you.
what time is it?
7:15.
Okay, again.
All right, the discussion about feedback thus far, we've kind of fed that into this piece. So we're gonna call that discussed at this point, which brings us to item number 4, routine matters. Minutes of the previous meetings. I have minutes from September 14th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from September 14, 2022.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Can I ask a question
Unanimous.
about executive session minutes? Do we ever approve them?
Yes.
Does it just take you a while to do them, or, because we seem like we've been
I
having.
haven't done any recently, but Donna,
Yeah.
would you take a look at what we have compiled, and
It's probably been a while.
if we can move
Yes.
any of them forward, then I will.
I mean, I think we should approve them, because I think you forget.
So I wouldn't have a problem with that, but we would need to approve them in executive session until we were ready to release them to
Okay,
the
well, we're
public.
having an executive session next
We
month.
are, so Donna, if you'd
Yeah.
be kind enough to go
I mean,
through.
but I just, because.
No, we
Obviously,
caught
I didn't
'em-
remember you guys were having a meeting, and that
We-
scares me, so if
Yeah,
I
no,
can't remember
that's okay.
something from last month.
We
then-
had caught up with them maybe a year ago.
Oh.
Well, we don't have that
I was
many
gonna
of
say,
them.
we
Okay.
haven't had
But
that
we've
many.
been having them a lot because of
But
these
yeah,
places.
let's catch up on this
Yeah.
time, and if it's something we can release, we will.
Yeah.
If it's not,
No, I
then we
understand
approve
that,
them in
but
executive
I'd
session.
rather just approve them at least.
What I would
Yeah.
suggest, Donna, is prior to our next meeting, send them to all the members. And if I feel there's something that can be released, meaning there's
Right,
nothing
yeah.
inherently wrong or
Yeah.
that would cause trouble,
Yeah.
then I would put those in open session just
Gotcha.
to approve the executives. I'll take a look at them with her,
Yeah,
and
good, thank
we'll do
you.
what we can. But we will catch up with them at the next
Yeah.
executive session. This is the meeting minutes from September 20th, 2022, which was a joint meeting with the Select Board. Do I have a motion to approve?
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll
Opposed?
abstain.
Okay, one
I wasn't
abstention.
at that meeting.
Andrew, did you vote yes or no? on-
Yes.
Thank you. All right, those two are done. B, payment of bills. First two items are requests for purchase. We have spoken about the Wix subscription. You've gotten the form. I don't see any reason why we would have to go above the best value, which is the Pro at $27 a month. That gives us 2 hours of video, which is, in my opinion, more than sufficient, but I am open. I'm curious as to what members think of this. This is not necessarily to be approved to move forward immediately, but we do need to have an understanding if we are moving forward. So, thoughts, anybody?
I'd like to be able to really push this into, the budget
For this year.
for 2023.
Okay.
I don't think there's a problem, if whatever we were to do in 2022, I don't think there's a problem. But I would like to take a look at what this might, each one of these numbers, what that might look like on an annual basis.
Can I table that vote until, our December meeting?
I wouldn't have an issue with that. I would like to ask a question from Reggie, if I may,
Yes.
before that's tabled. Do we have marketing monies in 22's budget left?
In 2022, yes.
Though you may need money.
But you're saying,
Table it, because if you do need to put
because
an
you don't
ad,
think it'll go forward until December or January?
It doesn't appear to, and if we have to put ads for public outreach in the Suburban Shopper or something that you have to pay for, then I think the money would be wisely more used there than on something, especially when he doesn't have it allocated. I mean, what's 2 months? It's already October.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, if we do choose one of these plans, it's more beneficial for us to pay the larger chunk because you save money by paying it in whole
Yeah, pay it
ahead.
a year in
So you pay
advance.
6 months or 12 months?
You'd pay 12 or 2 years, yes. You just save money,
Yeah,
and
no, I
and
get it.
Donna, if you'd be kind enough to send Reggie that
You
info
should
so
get
he
a
has a better
10%
idea.
discount if you pay it.
You get a considerable discount, it might
Oh,
be
okay.
15 or more.
You should
percent,
if
yeah.
you're paying up front.
You do.
So do you like my motion to table? Did that answer your
Do I have a
question?
second on the motion?
Second.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
second it.
Is there any further discussion on the motion?
You don't discuss a motion to table.
Okay. Well, we've already had a discussion
All right.
before the motion was made. We have a motion and a second. I was not aware of that, so thank you, Ms.
It
Walsh.
wasn't seconded, so you could talk about it. Now it's
Right,
seconded.
but it has been seconded,
Bye.
so
Reggie.
Reggie.
Reggie
Thank you.
seconded it.
Me
All those
too.
all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, no abstentions. Get it on December, please. Thank you. The second item was kind of a simple thing, to be honest. We've been buying a lot of gallon waters. Donna has researched a water bubbler. Donna, what was the actual cost of the water bubbler?
There were actually a couple examples that were in the packet. There's one for $89.99, it's a tabletop one. It takes both 3 and 5 gallon bottles and does hot and cold water. Then the prices go up from there. That was the most reasonable one that I found. There's also one for $183, one for $171, that are more stand-up ones, and then $239. But
The cheapest one was for
right,
$89.99,
and
is
that was
that
at
correct?
Walmart.
Doesn't include the water, I take it.
I don't believe so.
No.
Free hose.
Yeah. I mean, we are spending money on water unnecessarily, like, you know.
Well,
Then what are you gonna fill it up with?
I'm sorry?
Then what are you filling it up with?
I've been filling it up at my house from a Brita. And then she's been buying gallons.
Right, but if you have.
Oh, you would buy a 3 or a 5 gallon container.
So what's the difference of buying 3 or 5 gallon or the water bubbler? I guess I'm not understanding.
Easy. She's buying water every month.
What's
Okay.
going on here? That
Well,
I'm
we
not
use
aware of?
water for coffee and people drink it when they come in.
I didn't know there was a lot of hubbub of activity going on in here, to be honest. I didn't know.
Well, we have subcommittee meetings, we have other meetings with stakeholders. I mean, we've been in the office, people are using, we seem to use a gallon. Listen, I don't care.
No,
You
I'm just
tell
saying, I
me.
mean, I don't.
Right, it's a water bubble.
Stakeholders, I don't know.
Trying to make it easier for
I know
Donna.
there was one
If you
meeting
don't want to do that, then
and
just say
a
no.
subcommittee meeting, I didn't know where it even was. I just didn't know that there was people coming and going, because I'm unaware
how
of
much
it.
does a 3 or a 5 gallon bottle of water cost?
I could look into it.
You know? So I think that has some type of,
Poland Springs.
whatever
Yeah.
it is.
I agree with you.
Then you fill it up in the bathroom.
There are no springs in Belmont.
So
You grab me one,
made me
Rich?
thirsty. You made me thirsty.
The decaf is good.
Water?
I
I'm good, thank you.
enjoyed it.
I mean, you know, I don't really care, I'm just trying to, you
No, I'm
know,
good, thank you.
trying to save some energy here. And as I say, I don't really know where I'd put a water bubbler, so that's something to consider, but.
I'll tell you,
Thank you.
my thought process, on it right now is, I think that we need to slow down on spending money until we really understand what it is that we've got coming in the future.
Okay.
You know, because I really do believe that, and you'll see in the financial report, you know, sort of like where we're heading, if not where we are right now. You know, so I really like the idea that we're outfitting the place, but I think that we just need to slow it down just a bit, you know, until we can get to 2023 to see exactly what we can do, will do, or want to do.
Sounds like a plan. Next item, finance review, preliminary budget review. This is you, my friend. Wait a minute, did I miss something here, or
Minutes, payment,
we have
water bubble.
bills?
Oh,
Oh, these are receipts.
requests. for-
Am I
Yeah,
correct on
I
that?
had the summary of bills in front of it, and then the receipts was after it,
Okay.
for items that, for bills that were paid.
So do you want a motion for that, if you've already?
There've been bills that have been paid, so I don't
Yeah,
think there's a
they're the
motion
regular
needed.
bills,
Right,
right?
it's
Right.
just a summary, I just wanted to make sure you know.
But for transparency,
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna say, I'll make a motion to pay the administrative assistant $463.50. And, $343.71 for utilities at 725 Washington Street.
Can you do them separate?
Yeah,
Sure.
Karen,
All right, so
thank
the
you.
administrative assistant for $463.50.
Mhm.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, and
Opposed?
then I'll make a second motion for, utilities at 725 Washington Street in the amount of $343.71.
I'm trying
Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand. You have
You
that
need the
right
bill?
there?
Yeah. there's the bill. So I admit, there's a piece of this that I kind of want to
Yeah.
understand too. And just for,
Because there's $221 of this $343.71
that was paid.
has already been
correct?
paid. So the actual dollar amount, right? And that was paid in August of 2022, right? So where it says previous balance on here of $221.59 was actually for the month of August, and we paid that in September. And there's an outstanding bill of $122.12, and that is for 725 Washington Street from August 30th to September 15th. And when I reviewed this, I recall that we were supposed to be in here on August 1st. I'm sorry, September 1st of 2022. Thus, we were not in 725 in August because we were moving things out of there. And I recall somebody saying at our last meeting that
What's over there?
Mama Vintage,
Mad Mama.
Mad Mama,
Yeah,
actually was utilizing the space. They were having sales and things of that nature. So from my perspective, I was thinking that they owe either the entire amount or clearly a portion
correct.
of that $122.12. And that was when I took a look at the bill. That was immediately came up because the 221. I remember signing the check for 221.
So she hadn't transferred the utilities then at that point?
So at that point, the utilities had not been transferred over. So
But-
from August 30th until the 15th of September.
I believe that is Mad Mama's responsibility.
Right.
Our lease started on September 1.
And we've been paying this bill for September here.
Correct. Well, so the electrical for here actually didn't get switched until the
Right.
15th. So there may be a portion of her bill, depending on how it's laid out, that will
Okay.
be our responsibility. It is my opinion that the 122 is her responsibility.
Okay.
So that's why we asked for the separate.
Oh, no, I get that. All right,
Yeah.
so when I see utilities, I'm just thinking it's all the utilities. It doesn't just say electric. Oh, I'm sorry, it does say.
So Eversource is a different situation. They billed us from the 12th to the 11th. So we have to
Yeah.
prorate that on a daily basis.
All right, so you're saying this 343.71, which is considered unpaid, I'm saying the wrong amount to pay?
So what we want to do is we want to approve $122.12 for payment because we've already paid $221.59. However, with that motion, I would like permission to charge Mad Mama Vintage the $122.12, which is her
Right.
responsibility.
But we still have to pay it and she
We
can
do.
reimburse us?
Yeah, it's our bill.
Right,
But she should be reimbursing us that $122.12. I have had a generalized discussion that there's been some overlap here, and I've asked her.
To her?
Yes.
Okay.
I've asked her to come up with what that overlap is at this space, so that we can take care of
we're gonna
that.
show each other your bill.
Absolutely. But we have this bill. We know that the $221.59 was paid, which
Okay.
leaves a balance of $122.12 that is from August 30th through the 15th.
Okay.
It's our final, it's her bill.
All right, so Reggie, why don't you make the correct motion with the correct
Okay.
amount?
The motion is to pay National Grid $122.12 and be reimbursed by Mad
Mama Vintage.
Vintage, the 122.71.
Is there a second? 122.12.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay.
Can you make that, is that a legal motion? It's kind of a two-part. We're gonna pay it. I think there'd have to be a second
So do you
motion.
want a second? I'm okay with a
I
second
think that there should
motion.
be
I want to
two
be
different-
clear
I
about
think there
it.
should be two motions. Yes, I'll make if you take the friendly amendment to change just the payment amount. Let's just pay it.
So we want, your motion would be to pay National Grid
She's gonna
122.12.
amend it, yes.
Yeah.
She will
Yes.
amend the motion.
Yeah.
Okay, the 122.12.
Is there a second on the 122.12?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion beyond that? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then you can
Opposed.
make up whatever that other thing you wanna say.
That was
There's another
unanimous,
motion.
Donna. So the second part
motion
of it.
is that we motion to approach Mad Mama Vintage
To bill?
to reimburse the SRA $122.12 for charges from National Grid from August 30th to September 15th.
Second?
Discussion, who is gonna send out this
We
letter?
need a second first.
Oh, I thought you said,
Second.
okay.
We got a second from Andrew. Go
Discussion,
ahead.
so who is going to send out this letter?
I will send the letter.
Okay, all right, and add that to it, that Reggie will, do we need to look at this letter, or can we just let him mail it out?
If you want, we can send it out.
I
It's a
don't
pretty
have a
simple
problem.
thing.
Yeah,
this would be
We're
two
asking for
sentences.
And you'll
reimbursement.
probably get it out by the end of next week?
I hope this week.
Okay, well, I don't wanna push you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right then.
Unless these shots that I got today nail me down the next couple
Okay,
of days.
so no,
But yeah.
that's good, I
But
just
next
wanna
week is
know,
fine.
all right, I just don't, all right, so I will definitely, okay with that, so I guess you gotta take a roll call, Mark.
So, is there any further discussion on the reimbursement motion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous, Donna. Thank you for working that out, both of you. All right, financial review.
Financial review. We took a big hit in September. As of right now, we have $44,022.92 in our checking account. We spent approximately $50,000. A good portion of that was to BFC for past invoices. In our portfolio took another major hit. We lost from September 1st to the end of
I know you don't want to hear this. Please. go on.
$38,326 even. So we now have $594,289.44 left in our portfolio. We started off with a $500,000 investment. We had got up to approximately, I want to say, about $750,000, and we are now at $594,000.
Sorry.
The real estate, we're just holding steady at that, at $4,458,000 and $300. So we have five total assets of $5,096,612.36. What we also have in terms of cash available to us is $634,000. That's what we have.
Any comments? Discussions? I'm kind of with Roberta on this one. I don't want to think about it too much.
No.
Thank you, Reggie. Do you have a preliminary budget that you wanted to discuss tonight?
I believe I sent out a preliminary budget.
Yeah,
And I thought I had it printed out. I did not print it out.
That's fine. I looked briefly at it. You do good, you do a good job.
So
You know-
I apologize, I have not read
Right,
it.
but what I'm hoping to be able to do with that is get comments to come back. In the budget is based on not any leftover dollars that we're going to have for 2022. I based it solely on what it is that we anticipate getting
Yeah.
in 2023, and I used the number $3,904, I think
Yeah,
it was.
that's not
Now, we
safe.
may
Yeah.
be able to get more money,
Yeah.
but I wanted to be on the conservative
Yeah.
side to take a look, and then if we get more money,
Yeah.
we can add to whatever line items that we want to. But I would appreciate if people could take a look at the line items and go, yeah, I think we need to bump up a little more in, and I'll just say legal, or in marketing, or in somewhere else. You know, my one concern that I had, you know, and this is what I volunteer. This is what I volunteer for, is to be the person is to be a little negative.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, you wanna be conservative.
and
Yeah.
that is that, you know, I want to make sure, because we're actually on the hook for the lease at 725 Washington Street. So right now, you know, if we wipe that out, we're in a little better shape than what we might think. But if for some reason, and I don't know what that reason could be, you know, 725 doesn't pay us, then our rent goes from $600
You're right.
to $2,000. You know, so I want to be a little conservative.
When did we start that lease? July 1st or June 1st?
April.
April.
Oh, it's April.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have a ton of time left.
We don't
on
have
it.
a ton of time.
Yeah.
You know, so we only have until April of 2023.
So you basically have included the entirety of the rent on both spaces through April, is that what
Through
you're
April,
saying?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think we're in agreement that we're gonna end our lease in April,
Oh, yeah.
regardless of what Mad Mama chooses to
Right.
do.
Right.
Which
So-
I expect she'll continue with it, but
Right.
that, you know,
Well,
I think that's in everybody's best
You know,
interest.
so here's what I was thinking, you know, while I'm drafting these letters, right? Is it the officer's pleasure for me to draft a letter to Mad Mama's Vintage indicating that we are not going to enter into the lease past April of 2023?
I think you could wait till after the first of the year.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I was gonna say January.
Yeah.
So she actually knows that this is our
Premature.
intent already.
Right.
She's aware that we agreed to a sublease with her
We're not switching
until
back.
April. No, we're not switching back. No. So at the end of the day, I think it's fair to wait until January or
Okay.
February and just say
That-
you
I-
should prepare to work with
Right.
Mr. Kolotkin, who owns
You know,
725
that gives
Washington.
her an opportunity to
Yeah.
fill out whatever applications she's got, and gives Mr. Kolotkin the opportunity
Yes.
to review and
Yes.
determine whether or not he wants to enter into it. But we want to be able to wipe our hands clean and let everybody know that we're not in it after.
The only thing I would say is, once that letter goes out, come April 1st, I would imagine that Mr. Kolotkin would want proof of her paying her rent to us in a timely fashion, which we can legally provide him.
Sure.
That's a very simple thing
keep
for us to
records.
do. We keep records of it, so I would just add that we will be asked likely to do that from Arthur, and that will have a lot to do with him
Sure.
signing that lease, but I'm fine with that, thank you. Any other discussions on this?
I'm good.
Would you be kind enough to send me the financial budget again?
Sure.
I cannot seem to
Can't find it.
locate it, thank you. Moving on, correspondence, the only thing we got was Commonwealth. Reg, do you want to talk briefly on that? Oh, I'm sorry, we got something from the United Postal Service too. What wasn't it?
Just a confirmation of the address
Ah,
change.
Thank you.
And we did have an address.
Commonwealth account profile,
Just take a quick look.
please.
Yeah, no, we did get this, and it was basically confirming that we changed our address.
Okay.
From 725
Wasn't sure. what-
Washington Street to our now legal address as of now, 7 Pearl Street. And it also, provides us, some basic information on what our initial investment was, and what we think the annual expenses might be. Other than that, this is pretty much what we get on an annual basis, but it just confirms that they now know that
We're here.
we live here.
Thank you. All right. Action items list, which is item E of 4. Donna?
Sure. My items are, the usual items, which include posting the video of the meeting on the town website and Facebook, posting the agenda at town hall on Facebook, for the, select board meeting. I ordered the keys, the table linens, the TV set for the office, posted the sign minutes, printed some maps out for Forest, and then typed the open session executive meeting, session minutes.
That was it?
And that was it.
Yep. I agreed to send the SRA vote to the about the DRTF future to the select board. That was voted on by the select board and dissolved. I have not gotten a response from select board chair Roberts on anything in writing. At this point, I'm moving the featuring small businesses forward until we work out the details with a packet that will go out to new businesses. I did send out a couple of renditions of the website to everybody, and we've kind of already talked about that. CPC update. We approved a series of pre-applications, one for the rehab of the Dennison Fields, which is a town-owned complex behind the West School, sort of abutting the new high school property. We'll have a full application, or anticipate doing so, in October. The CPC voted by a vote of 5-1 to approve the Stoughton Youth Baseball project for lights on one of the fields and scoreboards. The dissenting vote was made because of a motion that was attached to the overall plan that the organization, Stoughton Youth Baseball Organization, come annually for permission to turn on the lights, and the dissenting vote was made as a consideration to the residents. How can we spend any money on something that may never get turned on? We have pre-applications on the lacrosse field rehabilitation and pre-applications on the Atkinson Ave parking lot. We have approved nothing for special town meeting, as this special town meeting is meant to be specifically for emergencies or urgent matters. So we took the select board's wishes seriously and moved nothing forward, even though we had some things ready.
When? Special fall town meeting?
Yes, there's a special fall.
The spring meeting?
No, there's a meeting coming up on November 28th of 2022.
Okay.
There are 8 articles on it.
Really?
The warrant has been closed. So, with that said,
Town rep?
Yeah. We have not received notice of that from
we just closed it
the town
on,
clerk.
Yeah, it's too early.
yeah, we closed it on, they closed it on the 4th of October.
Yeah, it's
The
like
Rules
last week.
Committee's meeting tomorrow.
Thank you. The Rules Committee is indeed meeting tomorrow. And Finance Committee will get their meetings together shortly thereafter, as soon as Rules Committee does their job. Next item was finalizing the press release to include public comment period. I know you sent it out. I had no particular issues with it.
Right.
So I'd like to get that going.
On there, if you notice at the very last word of the press release, there was the website address. And it's just XXXXX at this point.
Right,
You know,
but
so
we've
just need to
chosen
be
to
a-
wait.
So if we need to amend that, in terms of for more information relative to the Stoughton Redevelopment Authority, please log on to our,
I
can
guess.
take that out
Yeah,
and put in a telephone number, I guess.
Yep.
That gets people to call and leave a message.
we could do that, or we could put up some of the
Yeah.
information on the town website. Donna, you're adept at that sort of thing, correct?
I put documents up on the town
Yeah,
website.
we have to put some of the documents we've compiled to date up on the town website. It's a start. We could redirect them to that.
So if you just give me, Donna, if you just text me,
Let him know
email
how to find
me
it.
what I should put in here.
So we're looking to direct them to the town website redevelopment authorities page.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
sure.
Yeah.
I can do that.
But how soon is Donna gonna be ready to do all this? To download?
Oh, actually, it's pretty easy to,
Download these stuff?
Yeah.
All right, I just don't want.
No, thank you.
people
No,
going
I
on there
hear
and
what you're
haven't had
saying.
a chance to do
There's
it.
nothing there.
Yeah,
We
right.
won't,
That's what I'm getting at, either.
we won't put it out until Reggie,
Right, or
you
omit
have heard
that
from
last
Donna that the
sentence for
info's
now.
So
out.
it's all there.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
All right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And she'll tell you what to
And
put
so
there.
we're gonna put this into the Suburban?
Yes,
Wait a minute, you put the press release?
yes.
Okay.
That's why it was sent to us.
No, I thought it was going, I guess there is no papers that
Oh,
get a
no
press
paper.
release anymore, is-
Right.
when you think of it. Because this stuff used to go to like the Journal.
I know.
It used to go to.
I know,
The town news.
That's the
Yeah.
problem.
but it's not here anymore, so.
Right.
We're kinda,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. It's not too wordy. Okay, I'm just looking at it as, in a sense, an ad.
Drives per.
Yeah.
I mean, it's long, there's no
Right.
question,
Yeah.
It's more than a quarter page.
but
that word that I told you about.
what do you do? I mean,
That word that I told you about.
For $1,500, I can write that whole thing in one paragraph.
Redevelopment in the first sentence.
1,500.
Are we-
Is that
are we
what you
gonna-
want? I bill out
I
at
could
one.
name that song in 3 notes for us.
so how big an ad do we wanna run this press release? Cause it won't fit very well in a quarter page, obviously, nor do I believe it would fit well
Do
in
you
a
have
half.
this on like Word or something?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
And
we
you
just have to
sent
fix-
this to us,
there's a
right?
typo-
Yes.
There's a
Yeah.
typo we gotta fix, so, yeah.
I
Okay.
know that, yeah.
Okay.
thank
Let
you.
me fiddle with it,
Okay. Yeah.
if you don't mind, and I
No,
can set it
this
up
is Why I do it
something.
is for people to.
Well, because I
edit.
want it, I'm thinking a press release, I'm not thinking an ad. I want this to look, yeah, and it's not ready
But I
anyways,
think an
because she's not
ad's
ready.
better.
Well, that's basically what it is, the suburban shoppers and press releases, it's you buy.
They do
one-
press releases free of charge, I believe.
Do they?
Yeah, I believe that
No.
a press
It's gonna
release
be
It
is
should
free.
be an
Time
ad
clock.
because we're calling to action to some degree.
Right,
A press release is just an announcement by nature. I mean, this is like a combination.
yeah,
of
let
two.
me fiddle with
It
this,
is a
because
little
you
bit.
could probably, if it was edited, it's not ready to, we're not ready to do this anyways, right?
So do you wanna table it until our next meeting and
Yeah,
you'll
let me-
work on it?
Yeah, I
Are you
have it.
okay with that?
What was the typo on here?
Just in the first sentence, the word redevelopment.
Oh, okay, I'll
It
fix
just
that.
needs an E.
Okay,
In two
and let me
places.
just kind of fiddle around with it.
Okay.
If we're gonna put
I'm
it
fine
out,
with that.
let's, as an ad, let's make it look.
So-
And I'd like to get it into the crier as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
yeah.
Awesome, though, we got something.
yep.
All right.
All right, so you're agreed. You're gonna work on it a little bit,
Yep.
Reggie?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we'll have it for the next meeting. Thank you. There is no DRTF anymore, so.
No, there is not.
Donnie, you can remove that at this point in
Was
time.
canceled.
Yeah.
So what did the select board approve?
They're gonna have a new committee.
No, they haven't approved that
They haven't
yet.
approved that one
They
yet.
talked about, yes, they
They've
did.
talked about it, but they haven't approved it.
That was the next meeting, Mark.
I've been to all the meetings, they've approved
First
nothing.
meeting, they dismissed the.
We dissolved the
Yeah,
DRTF.
and then they talked about it at another meeting for an hour.
I've been to their meetings. Did
About,
I
see,
miss
you're losing
something?
your marbles like I am. Yes, they got, and they had a whole new acronym and everything else for it.
Oh, it's
They
not
should-
SEITF
Oh,
anymore?
maybe it is, I don't know.
Yeah.
And but it hasn't been finalized.
Okay,
But this is what
good.
it's called.
Right.
And they were gonna talk about who they're gonna put on it, and then that kinda went away.
Yes, I was there for that, but they
But
haven't approved
they've
anything.
had 2 meetings
I know they
about
have.
this.
They've had 3, actually.
All right.
4 if you count the first one.
I'm
but-
amazed that Mokrisky is supporting more committees. He has been deaf
Well, actually,
on
Lou
creating new committees.
didn't support it. He was against having another committee, Lou Gito. Which is, I was pretty sure they hadn't voted on anything, and I'm right, they
But
haven't.
they named it.
You know, because.
Oh, they named it. They've
Yeah,
named it for
yeah,
6
yeah.
months.
Oh,
Yeah.
But it was, weren't they waiting for the interim town manager to come back?
They don't know what to task this committee with.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
basically
I think,
what it is.
I believe, don't hold me to this, but I believe Mark Tisdale had said, I really want some focus if we're gonna move
Right,
forward.
you can't start a committee and just say,
Just
have
think,
at it.
right. Go do your thing. Well, what's my thing? You
Right.
know?
Have
I
pizza.
agree.
And you have an unlimited budget and, but don't. come looking
I
for
don't
us for
think
any money.
so.
But don't come. looking-
Andrew's pumpkin's gonna change
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reggie, you're
I'm
up.
gonna get to you later.
I'm listening
I
to you, my
forwarded,
friend.
you know, and I know
I don't know, we're getting sidetracked with a lot of stuff.
I know we do.
you guys are
don't we?
probably getting tired of getting all these emails that I send out. I'm much better with writing than I am with telephone
I think we're
calls.
almost
No,
done.
it's okay.
You know, so
We're close.
I agreed to provide a cost breakdown
you.
of BSC invoices for the October meeting in a recent email that I
Yep.
sent out. I
Got
sent
it.
out
Yeah.
the breakdown. And I think what you will see there is that, you know, out of all of the budget that we have, we owe approximately $17,000. You know, so we're up to date in terms of that, and we know exactly what line item have been 100% paid or 50% paid or whatever that might be. But we know now that it's just a little over $17,000 that we have remaining, and we clearly have enough in our budget. And that's why I was trying to be conservative, because, you know, even though it's not a lot of money, it's a chunk of
I
dollars that we got.
appreciate you being conservative, Reggie,
You know.
believe you me.
And I'll be honest, I don't have much stomach for paying anymore until we're at
it's
a very
done.
different place here. So, because what's remained on that is essentially the MEPA money.
The MEPA money,
Yeah.
right.
Now, there'll be
And-
perhaps some additions to that as they do excess work, but right now, I think they've gotten what
And
they're gonna
any
get.
excess work that they do has to come back to this board.
Well, MEPA only has to be in the environmental notification form if you have a project that's definable and you don't have that yet. It's not on that map.
Well,
There are no
we're close.
dispositions. I appreciated getting that map on 11 by 17, but there is nothing proposed on there.
That's right.
And the first thing out of the master plan is to locate or construct a place where the community can come together, an open space combination. This morning's Globe had a picture of Boston Common. Boston has just written a new master plan for Boston Common. If you go to Norwood, it has nothing to do with businesses growing up. But 10 years ago, you could get grants up to $300,000 to build a new town common. They used that money. Natick used it money. It has turned the center of Natick around. That's what I wanted to do first. Create a town common with a gazebo.
So although the SRA as those types of things as a part of the urban renewal plan, the funding would more than likely come from either outside sources or the CPC for open space, whereas
Yeah.
CPC funding is allowed for that.
Here's the
We're
one
not quite
struggle.
there yet, though.
Here's the one struggle. It would take 9,300 cubic yards of material to fill in that bungalow.
Stop, that's out of order.
Yeah.
We're not gonna talk
Oh,
about that.
Jesus.
New business.
Why
Old
do I
business.
even come here? Stop.
Continue with your action item list, Reggie.
I'm sorry. Agreed to get the BSC to update URP website to make it more user-friendly, and I think that folks are working on that. Actually, I'm not doing too much on that right now.
So the website has been pretty much up to date,
Yeah.
but we're at a point where we need to get that subscription. We've tabled that until
Exactly.
January, so we'll move that off until January, Donna.
You know, I actually have done some work on this next one. Prepared a discussion summary regarding the meeting with Envision Bank and community for community benefits. I actually looked at that and said, gee, you know, I would like to really be able to present an entire community benefits package to the banking community and not just Envision Bank.
Okay.
You know, as it relates to their Community Reinvestment Act. You know, I think that if we put together a pretty comprehensive, you know, so instead of asking for stamps for the letter, you know, I'm looking for the stamps, the envelope, and
Call my well.
in the
Tell her to come on down.
in the meat of the letter, so to speak.
Consider.
So I think that we can get much more, you know, from the banking
It's in the
community
closet.
than just from Envision Bank.
Thank you.
What do you anticipate as a reasonable time frame for you to get
At the
that?
next, whenever we meet
November?
with the
Oh.
the banking community.
Okay,
Yeah.
which would likely be somewhere early to mid-November.
Yeah,
You're okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And we do have a couple of people on the community advisory group that
Have some great info, yeah.
have some great info and actually indicated that they would love to be able to participate in that particular meeting.
Excellent.
Create a big greeting packet for businesses for July. I took a stab at that, and it is really, I should have had draft on this. So please look at this as a draft, you know, because I know that if we want to add some things in there, and just as an example, pens, pencils, cups, calendars, whatever that might be, that was not included in here. It somewhat is included, but not specifics in the 2023 budget. But this was sort of like, you know, in terms of getting it started, you know, this was a letter to the business community, particularly the new business, but it's also could be used to all of the businesses, since we now have a listing of all of the businesses in Stoughton. Although we need to tighten that up and get it
Cynthia Wall.
put on to the Excel spreadsheet, at least the one that I'm familiar with.
So, the only question I would have about this is there a usefulness to including a, as you said, pen or coffee mug or something, or are we just sort of wasting money doing something like that? I'm curious as to others' opinions of something like this. Is there something useful that we can
Well,
give as a
calendars
thank you?
like that are
Calendar?
not that expensive, and you can put all your information down the bottom. Website, phone numbers.
I'm okay with, I mean, I'm just, yeah.
Yeah,
Any,
does-
Roberta, would
I
you?
don't know, I'm up in the air. I mean, I'm old school. I look at a calendar, but don't ask anybody under 50. They don't look at they don't have a paper calendar. I mean,
Actually, I
let's be
use a
honest.
calendar all the time.
I just think,
I use it too, but
the old, younger people
I'm well
don't.
under 50 and
Do you look at a paper
You look at a calendar?
only because of my kids.
Okay,
There you
But outside of
go.
them, I wouldn't have it.
okay.
No?
Where is the
Because I gotta
desk?
see
What would you
this-
find useful? Because most
My
of these
ADHD, so I
business.
gotta have a big calendar
Yeah.
to see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
Most of these business
Your kids
owners
are
are much
going
closer to
into
your
front
age than
line.
mine.
If we're doing
On
something,
what
it's gotta
street?
be some sort of a personal touch. It can't be some letter, like nobody's reading a letter.
Right.
So it's gotta either be a gift
Is it
basket.
just
or
swing
something
space,
that's like welcome.
Swing
Okay.
space while they build the new
Would
home.
With a
you-
letter or whatever, like I'm gonna be like, I'm all set.
Well, we want to give you the letter because there's some important information there.
Right, but I'm not.
But I would love to
Oh, it's
have a
out near
welcome
BC
basket of some
High.
sort. Could you think a little bit about what might go into that for our next
Yeah, as
meeting?
long as we keep going.
Yeah.
I'll think
Andrew's
about
gonna
anything
think
you
about
can.
that and get back
I
to
will
us
take
on
everyone's
that.
agenda items.
You gave Donna the September bank statement.
She's got the September, and I think that we all have, it's in the package. And
Did
the
the
change of
changes.
address, I fill out the application. And, with Envision and Bartholomew, and
Yeah,
I
we
think
saw
we got
that
the
tonight.
confirmation
Yep.
there. The only one thing that I will mention is that Envision, they actually require
Hygienist.
all of the signatures on the bank account. But
Make an appointment, I'll show
no,
up.
but what they said was because I've been in so many times and they know me now.
They don't want you
They
back
said, hey,
anymore?
it's okay if you sign it.
Okay.
So that went through unless something happens at the
Sounds good.
and then we're marking.
You and I have been working on the public hearings with BSC and will continue to do
The only
so.
other thing I wanted to mention about the calendars, because, it really, it's my understanding, because I got a calendar from, I look at the calendar too, I'm way over 50. But the town, it's either the library or the clerk's office that produces.
That human resource one.
It's the library.
It's a
Yeah,
really,
library.
it's a
It
really
goes
good.
from like October to,
Yes,
yes.
it's a really good. It's
Yeah.
a really good
Yeah.
calendar.
If you look
You
at
know,
one, yes,
and I-
Cynthia Walsh is holding one up.
And I thought, wow,
Andrew's
Well,
probably
I will
never
say
seen it.
businesses don't do those anymore because they are very costly to do.
Yeah.
So I was,
They used to be everywhere, but people
Yeah.
don't.
Well,
you know,
we'll
I'm
deal with
just
that
saying,
in
yeah.
our next
I-
meeting.
so I was
I
was
talk about
thinking, that if we're just going to deal with new businesses,
She
if
called
we
her.
took an estimate of what
No.
what we thought, say 25,
See the
could we
taillights on
request
that car?
15 or
It
20
was an
calendars
alligator,
from?
mouth open.
But we can get as many calendars as we want.
You-
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I can get those if you really want to make.
Well,
them part of it.
I think that's for somebody that might, but you know what? It's just really
To
remarkable.
Roberta's and Andrew's point, they've got piles of them that I can get access to at a heartbeat because they're not giving them out. And
Right.
nobody's taking them, the calendars
Right.
from the library.
Well, I need to go by and get me one because I use them.
I don't know if they're done yet, but they've already taken the advertisements.
Just so that you know, all of our names, I think, with the exception of your name, is in the calendar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any of your three items want to, do they, any
Donna,
of them need updating? Or do
this
you want
is
to table
what
them
I
all
was-
first?
No, I gotta have these by
Two.
next month though. I
Okay.
totally
You have to
dropped the
speak to
ball.
Mark about that. 'cause
So-
He approved that.
Andrew, you're
The
going
two-
to give us
the two with the
updates.
10,
on
12 date, yeah,
Yep.
next week.
Stand
Okay.
by my statements.
I gotta get those done. They're
Mr.
easy
Chairman,
to-
you.
I'll look forward to hearing from you in,
No, I got-
in November.
That's crazy.
And we're not doing anything with the BSC one right now,
Cynthia has a.
or
Include
the
you
two
folks.
SRAs, yeah.
That's how I know, because I read it. I can get into the details of these things.
Mr. Chair, this is what I had asked Donna to look back for, this font, if you will, that scroll. No bold, but this is like 10 point. If you call it up from those old minutes, you can expand the size of it, no, lose the bold, but put it up to 16 point or 18 point.
That's an 18 or 24 right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna
What
be
are we-
on it.
what-
I
what are
mean,
we asking?
I don't know, he wants a bigger font.
I just want the scroll. That's what I,
What's wrong with that?
she said, I have to talk to you about it.
Okay, and I'm asking you, what's wrong with that? I don't wanna waste a lot of
I
time here.
wanted to get rid of the bold and increase the size a little bit.
Why? What's wrong with it the way it is?
I want to go back to the way it was.
Well, things change, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
well,
I don't know what it looked like before.
You know,
just
you
then.
know, I'm not so interested in marketing myself. You know, I don't want to be the headline of, you know, I want people to read if they want to know who I am, they should go up there. You know, if anything, I go for changing it to be smaller.
The other thing, do you want to consider buying a GBC machine?
A what?
A GBC binder
Yeah,
A binding machine?
a
Yeah.
binder.
For what
Yeah.
purpose?
to put together.
So you can put them in a book. So you don't lose the papers all over.
Are you
the
talking about
place.
our meeting packets?
Yeah,
We have the meeting packets are
Anything.
online. There's no need to keep paper copies of the meeting packets. The agendas there is, and those go into a binder. We do that now. Quickly, we have a pile of excess furniture down at the other office.
Does
Can we get rid of
anybody
it?
want
Yes.
Does the town know about it in the
I
schools?
will, I want to get rid of it. I'm asking
Oh.
permission.
Oh, yeah.
I'll call the
Surplus.
town, I'll get rid of it. Yes, sir.
Yes, go, let go.
Thank you.
Yeah, and, you know, there could be somebody, even like a committee, I hate to say it, maybe, I shouldn't speak Lions Club, any
I'll put it
committee,
together.
Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts.
We'll start at the town.
Library.
Yeah.
I'll work out, if you
Yeah.
know somebody who's looking for junk, let me know.
Yeah.
Stuff.
what
It's
kind
not
of junk?
It's actually not junk. There's some chairs down there, there's some file cabinets down there, there are things.
Yeah, well,
A couple of desks.
CPC files also.
Oh God, they've got more files than they know what to do with. They don't even use that office anymore.
That's CPC.
All right, next thing, downtown holiday light purchase,
Yeah,
Roberta, any
so,
movement yet?
well, did get okay, from the DPW about they would hang them.
Okay.
If they got approved.
Which is probably what we should go
Talk-
through the select board with.
Well,
but-
I wanted to find out first.
Yeah, I'm glad you
Then I know
did.
I have to go to the selectmen because somebody's gonna have to okay it and somebody's paying the light bill.
Right.
But, Mr. Tisdale says I'd have to go in front of them, and no offense, I'm still waiting on them for the armory. It's a
Yep.
lot more important.
Yep.
I may be able to sneak that in if I get the 5 minutes on the soapbox. I might stretch it to 6 so I can talk about the holidays. But if they haven't seen me on that, these don't have to go up this week anyways.
No.
They can go up next April. It's irrelevant.
Would you be okay if we move this item to the action items list on sort of
Sure.
a long-term goal?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like I
fair
said,
enough.
I'm not gonna try to get on the agenda until I get on about the armory first.
Last item in new business, old business, former Malcolm Parsons lot, Forest Lindwall. You will not be out of order and you are free to speak.
Holy shit.
Hey, watch your language, we're on
Please,
camera.
Alexa, we're on camera.
You gotta read the agenda first, my friend, it was
My-
on here.
It's members'
It's right
comment,
there.
not there for me.
It's right there.
What I approached Mark with, that the first item we should do is acquire the bunghole,
Oh, God.
okay? And fill it up to sidewalk grades.
He's talking about the Malcolm and Parsons property in which
This,
the foundation has
this
just
is
been
how the
completed.
town is going. They're gonna dig 10,000 cubic yards for the basement of the new fire station on Prospect Street.
Okay.
It'll only take 9,000 yards to fill up that hole. It's been the centerpiece of the town for 10 years.
That would be great if we owned the hole, but we don't own the hole, somebody else owns it.
Well, that's what
We
I
can't-
was talking about.
We can't buy it if it's not for sale. What, do you wanna take it over by eminent domain?
That's where I
I'm trying to be
started.
funny here, but I guess you're serious.
Yes, absolutely. We
Well, are
get
you
less
serious? 'Cause I would
pushback
come.
on
And
that.
where are we getting the money to buy this $2 million property? I don't even know what it's worth. The hole in the ground. How much do you think the hole in the ground's worth?
The bunghole?
Yeah, how much do you think it's worth?
You gotta stop calling
I
it
know.
that.
What do you think that property is worth? Guesstimate.
Including the building as it's
There's no
approved by the,
Yeah,
Planning board.
How much?
There's no building there right now.
Well, you'd have to subdivide the lot between.
Forrest, you're playing around with
Right.
it. What is the number? 'Cause
I
that's
don't
how much
have a
of-
Let's
number.
just say it's $1 million. All right, how do we pay for it?
Well, if you proceed
If you have to go,
with
you can.
eminent domain,
We don't have eminent domain powers.
well, that's
Thank
why
you.
I was
Appreciate your opening
asking
tonight.
what got approved. That's
Nothing got
why
approved.
we should have gone to the planning board
you know-
first,
You
not
know,
the select board.
Forrest, you know better,
And you might need more than that.
you know better
Thank
than
you,
most
Andrew.
of
All right,
us
see you guys.
Take care.
about this whole app, because this was your project from the beginning. You know,
Malcolm Parsons
you know,
was
no,
mine.
the URP, that application has to be approved
That,
before
that I
we get
understand.
eminent domain power.
I
All right?
understand.
And eminent domain power does not mean that we get to take it for free.
Well,
You know, we have to pay market probably
Here's-
plus.
here's how it works.
Tell me.
I have a very close friend who's the DPW director in Malden, and he works with the Malden Redevelopment
You're
Authority.
gonna buy it for us?
They took the entire street up to City Hall, both sides, took them all by eminent domain, and what happened? The reason this guy hasn't proceeded, he can't get construction financing.
He's already
broke.
started.
He's broke. Yes.
He's
I'm gonna tell you
actively,
that.
I don't,
he's
I am
actively
on-
building the building.
I don't think you'd buy a building and knock something down if you couldn't afford to put something in
Here's
there.
how it
You got
works.
insurance for it.
It's
Here's how it
already happening.
All right. So
You're out of
I-
order.
I am on record.
Just making a
And I'm not
statement.
changing
He's
my
building
mind.
the building.
I'm on record for probably the last 2 years that has indicated that I am not in favor of purchasing any type of property whereby
You're never going
we're
to.
not going to,
You're not
we're
gonna
going to have
get
to put
past
dollars
the
out
planning
there,
board.
ask the town
We have
to
to
tax the
adhere.
residents of town of Stoughton. I am opposed and have been opposed to that for the
Well,
last 2
We
years, and I
have
will
to
not
adhere
change.
to the master plan. We're not doing that
Sure
with
we
this.
are.
Hey,
We absolutely
Hey.
are.
I can tell you
We're-
now, you won't get my vote. I'm not voting on anything that is not financially feasible
Yeah, and the
and
master
financed,
plan,
regardless of what plan it is.
Here's what happened.
The master
in
plan
Malden.
requires or asks for open space in 3 areas. The current urban renewal plan reflects those areas.
Where? I don't see.
Municipal parking lot is on the urban renewal plan as a possible open space. The area around the train station is on the urban renewal plan as possible open space. There is some streetscaping that is on the urban renewal
you can't get
plan.
blood out of
All
it.
3 of
just
those
can't.
things are
just
also on the master plan. Look at it. It's there. The only thing that the urban renewal plan does not mirror when it comes to the master plan is the post office, and it doesn't for a reason. They've already said no. With that said, is there any further discussion about the Malcolm and Parsons property?
Who said no?
The post office.
The post office finally told the town no.
A couple of
Get
years
it?
ago.
2020 or 2021? I think it was December of 2020.
Well, it was the
hold on.
25,000 non-refundable.
It's
That
gone.
was your deal.
A
That was
mistake.
your deal, and it was a mistake.
It was a
So I
mistake.
don't want to go back and visit that.
And it was
a bad-
$30,000.
It was a bad deal.
I wasn't in.
No, you were
I
not.
wasn't here either.
No, it was.
But Roberta, when I looked into the details,
We
it was
got
clear to
sucked
me it
in
was a
by
bad deal.
Selectmen
A
of
really bad deal.
Arboretum.
Yeah.
And none of us,
Well, I
none
don't
of
know
us
why
were here except for Forrest.
Everybody's their own man or woman, their own person. And I
Yeah.
can't say anybody sucking anybody into anything because we all have our own minds. And we do
Yeah,
what we
well,
feel we should do.
I know a good deal and
So,
a bad deal.
the
That was
dates-
a bad deal.
The dates of our next meetings are November 9th and December 14th. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So made.
Second.
I,
All those in favor? Aye.
Thank
Opposed?
you.
That is 4-0, unanimous.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I hope
Smack,
that
for being here.
I hope that answered.